You are listening to the Centropic Oracle, an audiobook podcast of science fiction and fantasy short stories that make you think and feel.
A Brief Glimpse of Everything by J.M. Williams. I loved the Earth once. When I say love, I don't mean that collective sort of love that people en masse offer the planet every day. Not the kind of love that makes you plant trees on Earth Day or feel guilty about driving a gas guzzler because you can't afford a shiny new hybrid. I mean the kind of love that leaves you standing breathless in the summer heat. The kind that can cauterize mental trauma with the white-hot flames of passion. And when I say Earth, I don't mean that mostly blue sphere with a molten core, and not the third rock from the sun, that tiny speck in an endless universe. I mean the spirit of the world, the avatar of life. The ancients called her by many names: Gaia, Sibyl, Atabe. For one brief moment in time, for what must have been less than the intake of a breath in her billion-year life, she was mine. It started when I lost my daughter, slain by a vicious disease. The brief ember of love between her mother and I had turned rancid shortly after the girl was born. After that bitter woman left me with my heart scarred, my little girl was all I had left in the world. And she was taken from me abruptly, mercilessly. My life was suddenly crippled by despair. I couldn't work, I could barely sleep, and what family and friends I had were too far away to comfort me. I struggled to get through the day. Each and every endless one. I found what little solace I could hiding away in a quiet space in the woods. It was a small pond fed by the runoff of a nearby stream. It had a water of purer blue than you could ever expect to find so far from the sea. I needed its silence and its serenity. Anything to keep my heart from turning completely to stone. So every day I went, lying helpless on the dirt with my arm dipped in the icy pool, welcoming the pain, alone with my torment. But the more I came, the more I felt a sense of warmth radiating from the place. It was as if the trees could feel my anguish and were whispering reassuring things to calm my broken heart. Then she showed herself to me. At first she looked elfish. My Tolkien-shaped mind must have assumed that's how she was supposed to look. She was tall and graceful. I'd never seen a more beautiful being. But she could be anything I wanted her to be. Her form was fluid and radiant. Where her long golden legs strode, brilliant green sprouted from the ground. When her soft lips spoke, it was like the reverberation of a perfect memory. I could see eternity in her emerald eyes, but also myself in the reflection of her timeless stare. When she touched me, I melded with the forest. I could feel every heartbeat of every creature. I could feel the joyful burst of every new birth and the empty shadow of every death. When she kissed me, I became one with the world. And in that boundless sensation, I felt something I recognized. It was dispersed in the channels of life, those that course across the planet like veins carrying the blood of creation. In the river of life, I felt a shadow. I felt the tiniest echo of a smile, of a laugh that was all too familiar, and a chocolatey bliss as if I were floating inside the mouth of that girl who stole every morsel she encountered. It was my girl, or part of her. Scattered and distant, it was there, cycling through creation. I still cannot hold back my tears at the thought. In that quiet part of the forest, where she lay with me, our earthly bodies entangled, she never wiped them away. She looked upon each drop like a blessing, because they were. I loved the earth once, and she saved me.
We hope you enjoyed A Brief Glimpse of Everything by J.M. Williams, read by Rob Gillespie. If you'd like to learn more about the author and narrator of this story, or make a donation to them, follow the story page link in the description. Pledge your support to us on Patreon for cool rewards and to help us bring you more stories. If you would like to submit a story for consideration or apply to be a narrator, a link to our submission guidelines is in the description. This story is copyrighted 2018 by the Centropic Oracle.